Hi everyone, good morning and welcome to the morning report with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hantech Markets for Friday the 30th of May. The Wall Street indices again pushed to all-time highs yesterday, and that helped the Asian markets also push on into positive territory. That did happen despite the fact that the Nikkei was slightly lower, in fact, and that was held back by the stronger yen on the back of the inline Japanese inflation data that also came out overnight. But the European markets today have not really been able to push on, and they're still struggling to really sustain the momentum that the Wall Street indices have got. Once again, it looks like the DAX and the FTSE and CAC are all slightly negative, and really struggling coming on to the last day of the month. There's not a great deal of data out today to push these markets forward, so it could be yet another bit of a struggle day today to end the week. In the back, on the light of the gains that we've seen on Wall Street, you do have the VIX index, which continues to remain at low levels, well below that 12 mark, and does suggest that there is still a bit of complacency in these markets. But certainly the volatility is low at the moment. In terms of currencies, we've had that big breakout on the dollar index, but slightly corrected backwards in early trading today, and that's been reflected in the fact that you've got some sterling strength and also yen strength to factor in today as well. So we're seeing a slight decline backwards in that dollar index back towards that 80.4 mark. That seems to be a bit of a line in the sand there. The data that we need to watch out for today is not enormously key for the markets, but I mean, I suppose the Canadian GDP that's forecast at 2.3% will have an impact on the loonie, certainly. But other than that, you've got the University of Michigan sentiment that comes out at 2:55, and that's just the final number of the data that we've got, and that is expected to come out at 82.5. So there's not a huge amount of data. I suppose the European side might be will be watching out for the eurozone inflation datas from Italy and Spain that come out throughout the morning. But other than that, there's not a huge amount of data into the close of the month. Now, my chart of the day is the DAX, and the DAX is the reason for that is the fact that we've seen, as I said, the Wall Street indices closing higher, but the DAX has just in the last couple of days really struggled to really push on from the gains that it saw earlier in the week, and basically I'm seeing that this is now in a bit of an uptrend channel over the past 6 weeks. It's been sort of pushing higher, successive higher lows and higher highs, but certainly at the moment it's struggling now, having hit the top of that uptrend channel. And not only that, you've got to factor in that you've got the RSI up at 68, which is historically stretched for the DAX, and also these stochastics, which are beginning to turn lower and give the potential for a crossover sell signal. Now, the fact I would stress is that selling into an uptrend channel is not always the best idea, because uptrend channels are by definition trending higher, so these markets can push on. However, what I would be saying is you've still got this gap open at 97.80. And the old high where you did gap on Monday above that all-time high at 98.10. So that gap remains open, and you could well see that the DAX will now drift back towards that level, which, to be honest, would probably be a buying opportunity. But I think it would possibly be seen in the coming days. So certainly in the light of the sort of drift sideways we've seen in the last couple of days, the DAX does remain open to potential profit taking, you would argue. I'll just show you quickly on the intraday chart. Here we've got intraday support coming in at 98.98, and if you were to break below there, you'd probably see us back towards that 98.10 breakout high, and this is the gap that we saw on Monday here. So there is potential certainly for an unwinding of the DAX, and that's not without the realms of possibility, because these momentum indicators still a little bit have a way to go on the corrective drift lower, certainly you would say. Okay, well that's my outlook on the DAX, and I wish you good luck in your trading today on the last day of the month, and I will speak to you later. Thank you.